thank you everybody. Thanks so much for coming. It's great to see all of you here today, because all of you here today, I know, have done that extra mile in this campaign. You've all been out, come rain or shine. It's been quite a lot of rain, and you've all been out there doing it. And this has been one of the most positive campaigns I've worked on. And that's because you've all been so galvanised by what is at stake in this campaign. We do not want to see Matt Goodwin and reform here in Manchester and Denton. No. Absolutely. And that is what is at stake in this election. We've got a positive Labour story to tell here in Manchester and Denton as well. But that is what is at stake. And you all know, because you've been having the conversations on the doorstep, that it's only Labour here that can beat reform in this by-election. So
let me start where I must by saying thank you, not just for that reception, but for all the hard work that you put in on this campaign. Thank you. It's been full of positivity, taking that positive case about our values, what we believe in, and getting out there, whether it's raining or sunshine, but taking our message to each and every door. So a massive thank you to you. Thank you for what you have done, and thank you for what you're going to do, because of course we need to carry on now for the rest of the campaign in that same spirit. So thank you to each and every one of you. And let's be absolutely clear about this by-election. It is a choice. It is a choice between unity and division, between hope and hostility, between a brilliant candidate rooted in her community. Every single person in this constituency when she gets elected into Parliament against the politics of division with reform. And as Lucius just said, let's be absolutely clear about the battle we're in, because it's Labour versus reform. Only Labour can beat reform in this constituency. Only Labour can keep them out of This by-election is about basic values. Values of unity over division, of bringing people together, over tearing them apart. And it is a straight fight between Labour and Reform, between the only party that can bring communities together, that wants to bring communities together, and Reform, which wants to tear them apart, the complete opposite of what these communities need. So this is a really important election. It is all about the values, and let hope win over hostility.
You must accept that a lot of people are upset with your government, and this will be a chance to tell you that.
Well, this is about what this government is doing, that Labour Party which stands with these communities, represents these communities, brings people together, is turning around our NHS, turning around our economy, improving our public services. Or the alternative, which is Reform, which will tear our country apart, wants to rip up the Equalities Act that says that people should be treated equally, wants to absolutely plunge children back into poverty. These are basic, deep-rooted values, and that's why I say Labour is the only party that can win in this by-election, and that's why I say unity, unity, unity over the division of Reform.
You blocked Andy Burnham from standing here. Do you take responsibility if you lose?
Andy Burnham is a fantastic mayor in Manchester, and he's been out here campaigning as well. And therefore, you've had the Prime Minister, you've had cabinet members, you've had party members, a brilliant candidate, all pulling together, because we all know what's at stake here. It's about that unity that is desperately needed, pulling people together and allowing them to have their voice heard in a way which doesn't divide our communities in the way that Reform will. They'll tear our communities apart, and Labour is the only party that can prevent that happening.
Minister, Reform UK say this is going to be a referendum on you. Is it, and are you going to take the blame if Reform UK take this seat after you blocked Andy Burnham from standing?
This is a battle of values in this by-election. The values of the Labour Party, which wants to bring communities together in unity and hope, or the toxic division of Reform that wants to tear our communities apart, that wants to break apart everything that we've stood for years and years in this country. We got a little bit of taste on that on Saturday with the marching that was going on here in Manchester. That is not the politics in these communities. Only Labour can beat Reform in this race. It's a really important battle about values, about who we are as a constituency in these communities. And it's very, very important that hope prevails over hostility.
But will you take the blame? Are you feeling like this is personal to you?
This is a very important constituency, a very important by-election, because the values that are underpinning it. The battle here is that basic battle between a party that wants to bring our communities together, to make sure that everybody in this constituency has their voice heard in Parliament through their brilliant Labour candidate, or a party that couldn't really care less where the constituency is, just wants to use it as a platform for hatred and division and tearing people apart. That is not the politics of this constituency. That is not the politics of this country. And we must be in this fight, fighting for all the people that will be affected by the decisions made here on Thursday, and making sure that they have the hope to go forward, that better support from a Labour government, and to make sure that we do not descend into the hostility which would follow a Reform win.
The Green Party says Labour's taken this area for granted for years. Can you understand why voters feel that way?
In this by-election, a vote for the Green Party is in effect a vote for Reform. And we saw in the by-election in Runcorn last year, where Labour lost by just a handful of votes, we got a Reform Member of Parliament. We mustn't let that happen again. And when it comes to the Green Party, look at their drugs policy. They say we should legalise heroin and crack cocaine. Imagine what would happen in every park and every playground in this constituency if that happened. And I have to say, as a father of a boy who's 17 and a half, the idea that the Green Party would make the argument that just in a few months' time it should be perfectly lawful to sell him heroin and crack cocaine, I find that disgusting.
Baton Windsor's right to the throne is removed, and what other levers are you exploring to ensure the questions raised about Andrew's time as trade envoy is investigated not by Parliament and by the police?
Well, it's important that we let the police investigation run its course. But I can tell you the government is looking at options in relation to succession. I think it's important that we do that with all options on the table. But it is important now the police have started their investigation that they go with that investigation and go wherever the evidence leads them on all of these issues. We'll fully support them in that. But on the question of succession, yes, we are considering what measures can be taken, but that would have to be after a police investigation.
Thank you very much.